Hey everybody, Alex Goff here, and we're talking about the Leinster Rugby School of Excellence, which has partnered with Syracuse University to help basically grow the game and improve the skill level of the game in the United States. And it's a really interesting partnership of two countries, one a major rugby country and one still trying to be a major rugby country, and how can they work together. And I had a great talk with two people from Syracuse University Rugby, first of all, Insheo Kumape and Jabari Johnson, but also with Colin O'Hare from Leinster Rugby. So this is the chat we had talking about what they're doing at Syracuse, but also the idea of how this can not only help a rugby program, but also help the sport nationally.
So we rely heavily on, as I said, the volunteer, the parent, the goodwill of the clubs, and I can see that here in the States.
Yeah.
And what I've learned over the last couple of years, number one, it takes fantastic people to get involved and to be givers of their time, of their energy, for the love of the game, for the values of rugby, the sport, and again to give our players and coaches the best opportunity to be the best they can be. I'm lucky to be involved for the last 27 years, and I've seen the way the game in Leinster has grown and how that's fed Irish rugby as well, in terms of our national side. Um, and what I love and what I'm excited about being here in our partnership with Syracuse is that there's a lot of similarities in terms of the lay of the land here at the States. The potential with the athletes and so on is magnificent. It's fantastic. So long may it last.
Excellent. Well, I think yeah, Ireland has done a fantastic job in terms of breaking it down from national level. Or as you say, starting from the up, but if you look from the top down, it's broken national level to provincial level and then regional within the province. And so there's a sort of a clear pyramid of participation and pathways through that.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I think, and that makes sense in terms of the United States, breaking it down geographically, right through that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And again, it's rugby is all about people, and it's the fairest game in the world
Yeah.
in terms of it's there for everybody, no matter who you are, where you're from, any shape and size, any working background, any parent. It's fantastic. And I look at the chats and conversations we've had with the people on the ground here in the States. To give you an example, if I'm to look at a pathway or what type of pathway is here at the moment, and again, my experience thus far, you start off with the guys at Imagine Rugby with Ashley and Mikey, sorry. Fantastic in terms of how they want to grow the game from the ground up. Mass players playing, the volunteers going into local schools, feeding that up to US high school and youth rugby with Gio and David. Fantastic again on the work they're doing. And again, feeding that up then through to universities, colleges, again, through the education experience, through the student experience to get the best opportunity to play the game. And then obviously after that, playing MLR or playing part-time rugby over sevens, whatever that looks like. So I have to say, and even the state there with Rob Slawinski and Matt Persan is like the movers and shakers of rugby within the local area at Syracuse, central New York, stateside with Rugby New York, out to the regions and out to the whole states is fantastic. There's a really good intent, and again, you can see the numbers and the grassroots, and the game is starting to really grow.
All right, guys. Um, all I want to say, Jabari, what are you seeing that you want to see from this partnership and how this builds for you guys?
I guess like team growth and get some nice things like maybe gear. We already have a field, so I don't know, just like growth and like hopefully like influences more people to like join when it sees like we see like how much our program's building, like more people are like, oh, I want to join. So it's like a lot of people look at it and be like, oh, they don't really like take it like seriously. It's like kind of small. But like when they see like people are like like we're really serious about this, and it's like more like an actual team, then people are gonna be wanting to join more.
Right. So, you know, training, skill execution, skill acquisition, like you said, taking it seriously. If you're just milling around and going, I don't know, what are we going to do today? That's that's a turnoff for some
Yeah,
guys, right? Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So what have you? Can you point to something specific that you've really taken away from the partnership so far?
Um,
And if
nothing
that's
specific, but like I'd say it's like it's helpful. Like we like
yeah,
I mean just the Leinster name alone is already like good enough because then like it's like people be like, oh, what's Leinster? Then they look into it.
yeah. Little Waseo, you got thoughts on that?
Yeah. I'd also say that for me, what I want to see is skill development from youth. I think that because we are in America, we are at a disadvantage. Rugby is not the sport here. Here it's, American football, there's things like basketball, even regular football like soccer. But, with Leinster, I'm seeing Kali and, like a team of people going in, they're starting these PB camps, and that's really important. Because I feel as though if we want more Americans to go pro, we can't start from college. Now, it's certainly a possibility. I myself, I started in college, but when you look at other countries, it's rather late to be successful. So I definitely want to see more of that development from juvenescence. And then what I'm seeing right now, I personally have not participated in the Leinster camp, unfortunately, but I do know players, specifically male players, who have participated, and I see the difference in their scope in comparison to their counterparts. For example, we have Tommy Wu, we have Jabari himself. The skill level between him and the rest of his teammates, it's I think there is a difference, and I think that you can see that he has, or they rather, have definitely seen some kind of improvement and have definitely been better through the camp. So I would 100% love more women to be in the camp. It's definitely open to everyone, but I think the toughness of the sport is a selling point for the men, and the women are a little scary. Not all of us, but I would definitely love to see more of us in the Leinster camp improving.
Colin, how do you impart the knowledge? Do you do it through games? Do you do it through activities? Do you do it through a mixture? Do you have a specific like Leinster way of doing it?
Yeah, great question. So again, if you look at what the game encompasses, so if you look at the reality of the game of rugby, right? It's a game in attack where you look to run into space, pass into space, or kick into space. The aspect of the defense is to stop a player with the ball to run into space, to stop a player from passing into space, to stop a player from kicking into space. There's set pieces that restart the game. You've got your scrum, your line out, you've got your launch play, backline attack, you've got free kicks and penalties. So if you look at those sort of pillars that are part of the game, within that is the game itself. So what is the game of rugby? What's the characteristics and traits of the game of rugby? For me, you see a lot of chaos. You see a lot of decisions to be made on and off the ball. You see a game that, again, in terms of the ball carrier, I mean, they're responsible to look after the ball. The ball is king. Get the ball, to keep the ball, to go forward, to look for your support players to rely on the ball carrier and be there for the ball carrier to make a decision. And then there's the players to think of what's next and how they can be effective. Where do they line up? Can they anticipate what's next? But it's a game of war. It's a game of attrition. It's not predictable. It's unpredictable. And we need to make sure we equip our players to be able to deal with any volatile scenario. So how do you train that? How do you mimic the demands of the game in your practice? So again, if the game, the reality of the game is chaos, do we do that in our practice sessions? Yes, of course. What does that look like? Um, so what scenarios or what pictures will our players see both sides of the ball during the game? There's the contact element as well. There's the safety. So you've got all those components. And it's important for you to understand that dissect the game, that you can make sure that you're adapting the needs of the individual and the collective and the whole, and prepare them then for battle in practice. Yeah, like my philosophy, Alex, has changed a lot over the years, and that's like sometimes, your philosophy can be all about winning. And I always ask the coaches, well, if it's all about winning, how many trophies do you have? There's not a lot of coaches with many trophies.
Yeah,
So what does
right.
success look like for you as a coach? And are you player centered or are you self centered? So that, I mean, we need to challenge our coaches in that space as well, because that coach can influence 30 players, and if you've got 10 coaches in a locality influencing 30 players, that's 300 players getting a great experience, and that'll help them stay in the game. And in terms of attack, well, in terms of philosophy of attack within the game, you've got your width, you've got your depth, you've got your two sides of the ball attack, you've got your second line of attack. And again, you need that skill, but you can have great shape and a great game plan. But if you haven't got the skill set, as you mentioned there, about other aspects of the game, the core four skills, catch, pass, tackle, evasion, and then obviously the breakdown. Like for me, I don't want rucks, I don't want breakdowns to happen, but they do. It's the reality of the game. So how do we get that slow ball back into fast ball, create more chaos, more doubt, and to have a high intensity level that everyone comes off the pitch knowing that they give it their all.
Oluwaseun and Jabari, what are your just? This is the sort of thing I need to know. What are your roles? I mean, when I refer to you, what do I call you? First of all,
Like my position, or just like what like I
yeah,
do.
I mean your role within the program.
Oh, um, on the field, I kind of like try and like keep like work rate up, like because like I feel like as like flanker, I kind of have to like be like all over the field. Like I'm, I like all the tackles. I'm at all the rucks, and like when I see like my forwards like struggling like get into place, I'm like we like get in place. Like you're not that tired. Like the backs, like you're just gonna dish it out to us. And yeah, I mean, I feel like if I'm like going like hard, it like can like set the tone because then like in their head, like, oh, if he's going 100, then I have to like go 100 too because I can't like let my teammates down.
And off the field, what do you do off the field for the team? Do you have like an administrative position?
No,
No.
just play rugby.
Okay, all I will say you look like you're in charge of people. I mean,
Oh, so I'm the president for the women's side. So I do a
okay,
lot
good.
of administrative work off the field, and on the field,
Sure.
I'm primarily a center, and I'll usually play outside center, but I can play wing. During sevens, I'll hook. I can also play wing as well. And I think for me, I think I make a lot of offensive plays, obviously, and I have offensive strengths, but I think that I bring a lot when it comes to defensive pressure, making big hits, as well as offensively making those hard runs. And as Jabari said, keeping the energy up and kind of being a voice of reason on the field.
Good. Do you feel like your this partnership puts you in a position to get more players playing and then either get them up to speed faster or maybe they take a clinic, they go to a camp, they're already a little bit ahead of the game as rugby players coming in school.
Yes, I do 100%. Specifically because we are a club sport. Even though we're like emerging, like we don't want to just stay club. Being a club sport doesn't mean anything in terms of skill or in terms of the seriousness. But
Right.
unfortunately, when you're branded as a club sport with a school, students will struggle to take it seriously. Not all, but some. So with the Leinster camp, you have a level of professionalism that raises our esteem, and it makes us, I'd say, more sellable to students. So it definitely does bring in more. And when they attend these Leinster rugby camps, they come knowing more and they come ahead of the curve. I personally believe that if I had attended a camp before I came to Syracuse University, I do think that maybe I'd be a different player. And there could have been some improvement there because I would have at least seen a ball before I joined the team.
Legally the ball, right? Held in your hands, know what it feels. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Jabari, anything to add to that?
No, I completely agree because like going to like the Leinster camp like really like prepared me because like there's like a lot of like tiny like tidbits of knowledge I took from the camp and like put it into like my own like game in high school, and now I bring it to Syracuse.
Where'd you play in high school?
I played at DeMatha.
Oh yeah, yeah. Cool. So Colin, you seem pretty passionate about this whole thing. And what does this do for Leinster? Or is that not really the
Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting just in terms of the type of players that come into the university, and then we, we've noticed a huge growth here at the university in terms of growing the game with the rugby program. And I go back to my first point about what rugby is in terms of values, all inclusive. Doesn't matter who you are, whether you never played the game or whether you're playing it a long time. There's a place for you in a rugby environment, and what we're finding is that it's how we adapt and deal with the type of player that what their expectations is of rugby. So we have different types of expectations in terms of the type of player that we want to develop, that wants to take rugby more serious, going from participation to performance, and making sure that we're ticking those boxes in terms of good content, quality game education, player development, but also that new player, to give them an experience and to be able to transit from other sports, which is great because I'm noticing basketball, American football, lacrosse, those sports are fantastic. They're very similar to back home with hurling and GAF, that all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
are transferable. But rugby, sort of, for me, it's a great sport to transfer from another sport. And I'm very sort of bowled over by the athletes who've never played rugby. Their athletic capabilities is through the roof. And the athlete is, a lot of them are in much better nick than our lads even back home at a young age. But you're asking, I suppose, what are we getting out of it? Again, that Irish American relationship for us is massive. 99% of American people are Irish, so that's that's why I feel very at home. That's the first thing. But we want to do is we want to have that showcase what we do the right way. That generous Irish spirit that we have, we want to be able to help grow the game and support the game from the ground up, and just again socialize, help, challenge, champion the people who are working on the ground, and being able to just share our experience, and navigate towards the World Cup in 2031, 2033. What does that look like for everyone? What does that look like for World Rugby, USA Rugby, all entities of rugby, and how we can promote the game globally? And then what value we can add as how we go about our business in terms of our model. And from that, then it grows. And it's very, very important, no different. Like, obviously, Irish rugby is a tier one
Yeah.
entity. We have tier two and tier three entity countries. Why can they not be supported and championed and helped by experienced tier one countries in everything and how they go about their business? And the other thing as well, the potential here in the States, long term, there's no reason why the States can't share back what we're doing at the
Yeah.
moment in terms of how they go about their business and their sport. So it's fantastic.
Good.
So that's what everybody said about that. I mean, I just think it's very interesting to see how a drive for excellence, first of all, can get more numbers out to your rugby program and to get more people interested in playing, because they don't want disorganized practices. They don't want to go to a team and people not really know what's going on. But at the same time, talk about a base of operations for Leinster Rugby in order to go from Syracuse University in Syracuse, New York, to go nationally, the idea of just building the game and helping us prepare, even on a grassroots level, for Rugby World Cups to come and just the future of the sport in the United States.